Hey y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 286. My name is Jason, owner of Outdoor Legacy. And as always, I've got my co-host Hans from the Hans East Texas YouTube channel. And guys, we have got a big show for you today. I know that we like to say that a lot. We like to say things are exciting, and we get excited because we really love our job. We love what we do. We love producing this show. But if there is one thing we really do love, and I know, Hans, you're going to agree with me, it is breaking news. It is technology advances. It is when, exciting things are happening in this industry. It gets us excited. And we've got one of those shows today.
We do. Man, I tell you, Jason, it has been a busy week. As y'all know, we released a breaking news episode yesterday with Jeff Murray from Cellmark Pulsar, and we didn't. They released a brand new optic, and you're right, man. Talking about, we love scope releases. We love new optics. We love testing new stuff. But when you have an advancement in technology, it's even more exciting. And we are going to be reviewing, and you've probably already heard about it. It's all over social media, but the Pulsar Thermion XL50, which is the brand new 1024 by 768 thermal resolution, thermal rifle scope. And I tell you, I told you before we started, I said, man, I'm just tired. We are putting out in the process so much content about the XL50. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 videos releasing on different platforms and social media pages. It's been a busy week.
I'm going to give Hans this. When Hans named himself executive producer of the Late Night Vision Show, that also went along with, great, all of Jason's videos, you can edit those, and all the footage I get from the field, you can edit that. And so he's got a handful. I even put a little announcement video out on the Outdoor Legacy YouTube channel yesterday. So I recorded the video and uploaded it and said, here you go, buddy.
You're right. Editing your videos, the podcast, mine. Well, we need to mention that because this scope has brought Jason Robertson out of YouTube retirement on the Outdoor Legacy YouTube channel. The last video that he did was the Pulsar Thermion, the original Pulsar Thermion XG50. And that was 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
A little over 3 years ago. This XL50 1024
brought me out of retirement.
Brought him out of retirement. Y'all, he's on video, looking sharp, looking good, brand new camera set up. Oh yeah. So let's get into it, man. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to be doing specs. I want to say this. We're going to be doing a lot of things, but if you hear anything in this review, please hear this. You need to hang on and listen to who this optic is good for. I get so many calls of guys that list the features of scopes that they want, and I tell them all the time, it's hard to find a scope that will do everything you want it to do in every application. But I'm gonna tell you, this scope checks probably more boxes than most optics out there. But you need to check. Stay tuned after the specs that we run through, after the walk around. We're going to be talking about who it's good for. And that is the most important part of this review. If you don't hear anything, please hear that. Okay, Jason, go ahead with it.
All right. So Hans is, like he already told you, they're going to be showing that. We're going to be showing some footage right here. I want you to check this out. And I want to give you all these specs. So I'm going to try to run down this list. All right. Pulsar Thermion 2 XL50 thermal rifle scope, price $7,999. We could stop right here and we could just start talking about the price. Guys, that's a shock. It's a shock to me. It's a shock to Hans. And if it's not a shock to a lot of y'all, then, I don't know what to say, because we did not expect to get 1024, in a thermal rifle scope for this kind of price range. And it's got a laser rangefinder. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that right there, just adding that to it. It's got a laser rangefinder in it. So, all right, as mentioned, 1024 by 768 thermal sensor resolution. It is 12 microns. It is sub 35 millikelvin. The display type is an AMOLED, which is normal, and it's a 1024 by 768, which is normal for Pulsar. But we've got a 1-to-1 ratio here. So every pixel that you're seeing in the thermal sensor is going straight through to the display, gives it that very sharp, crisp image. It's got a very fast 1.0 objective lens. Base magnification is going to be a 1.75 power, just right below 2 power, and it's going to go up to a 14 power digital zoom. Field of view, super wide, 73.5 feet at 100 yards. That is a wide field of view. Just to give you some comparison, the XP50 is very wide at 65 feet, and you're talking about almost 10 feet more. Detection range. Normally this is going to be something like a human size, object out there. 2,515 yards. And the battery type. Okay, so the battery type is going to be the normal APS 5 that is inside the scope. That's normal for all thermions. And then there's going to be the normal APS 2 or APS 3 that you can remove out of the top. Now what's a little bit different with this scope is most thermions come with an APS 2 removable battery. Well, this scope comes with an APS 2, but it also comes with an APS 3. So that's a $100 battery that you're getting extra. It's also got the taller battery cap like all the thermions do, so you can use either one of those batteries or both of those batteries. And battery life. So what we got total runtime was, and to be honest, I didn't add this up. That was probably not good. 6.5 hours basically is what we got. A little more than that, almost 7 hours, but 6.5 hours of runtime on this unit total. And how that broke down was about 4.75 hours on the internal battery and almost 2 hours on the removable APS 2. So you're looking, Pulsar says about 6 hours. We're going to say in the field, reasonable using it. I think that's fine. 6 hours, I think is a normal usage, but you're also going to have an APS 3, which is going to get you over 2 hours of runtime. So, you're going to have basically 8 hours of runtime with this unit. I mean, as it comes out of the box, buying no extra batteries. Like that, then as always, a negative 13 degree temperature rating, so you can go way down in the cold temperatures. 375 H&H 12 gauge shotgun recoil rating. IPS 7 waterproof rating, which is fully submersible to 3 foot for 30 minutes. Unit weighs about 36 ounces, and it's got every other normal Pulsar feature, internal video and audio recording, more reticles than any other thermal manufacturer on the market today, offers tons of reticles, all the different, color palettes. It does have extra zeroing profiles in this unit. Normal is I think, oh gosh, I'm going to say this and be wrong. I think it's normally 5, and I think this goes up to 8. Yeah, so there's more zeroing profiles, and it does have all the ballistic calculation, the app and everything that's tied into the laser rangefinder that the other Thermion LRFs do. I think there's actually some newer firmware in this unit. There's been some changes made, some stuff that's going to roll out for the other Thermions, I believe, later. Guys, I want to say something real quick about this scope. This is a big deal. We should have mentioned at the front end, this scope is in stock at Outdoor Legacy today, October 26th, Thursday, 2023. The day we're releasing this, we have these units in stock. If they're out of stock, it means that yesterday when the scope was announced, there was a crazy run, bigger than we ever imagined. I hope that is actually the case, but I don't think so. We're going to have these things
if that's the case, I'm taking the day off.
That's right.
Taking the
you
day
can take
off
the day off, Hans. If we saw, because we had a bunch. Let me just say this. I mortgaged my kids to go buy these scopes. So if we're out, but no, we won't be. Not right now. It may eventually be, but so it is in stock at OutdoorLegacyGear.com. Before we go any further, guys, if you're interested, and you may be watching to right here and say, I'm interested in this scope, but I don't know if this is for me, and I'll watch your review, but I don't have a whole bunch of time. Guys, feel free to give us a call at Outdoor Legacy. This is what Hans, our salesman Ashley, and I, this is what we do for a living, is we review, we test, and we sell these optics. And all three of us have got many, many, many hours in the field behind this unit. All the footage that you've seen is footage that we have gotten, the three of us combined, and we know what this unit will do and what it won't do. We've put it next to competitor scopes. We've put it next to the other Pulsar scopes like the XP50s and the XG50s. We know what this thing will do, and we are happy to talk to you about it, and we would love to have your business. If the XL50 is the right scope for you, well, we've got them for you. If the XL50 is not the right scope for you, we're happy to even tell you that. Say, hey, this is what you're wanting to do. Don't think this is the right scope, but here's something that is. Give us a call, 877-350-1818. We are happy to talk to you and help you. And when you're ready to make a decision, we would love to have your business.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, a lot of people call in and say, y'all are the experts. I feel weird about that because I always feel like the people that built it are the experts. We just know how to go out and turn it on, shoot hogs and coyotes with it. But
barely.
Yeah, barely. So I want to show this optic. If you are listening in your car, please go check out the YouTube video. Man, we've got Jason out there, tons of video from him. Ashley, I got out there, got some video as well. We've been using this for a while. I don't know if you mentioned how long we've had it, but gosh, it's been several weeks that we've had a chance to demo this scope, to be able to bring this review right after the day that it was announced. But here we are. This is the XL50. If you look at it, I mean, it looks like the XP50 LRF. It looks like the XG50 LRF. It is 50 millimeter objective lens with the laser rangefinder on top. It's got a dual objective lens focus, which I really like, one on each side, depending on which, if you're left-handed or right-handed. So that does come in handy. It does have the power button still on the back of I don't know if it still screws you up. It still screws me up. I know it's been there for a while, but I got to get used to that power button right there. From time to time, I catch myself still looking for it here on the eyepiece. But you got your power button, which is bright blue. You can't miss it, but somehow I still do. You got your eyepiece diopter focus with your buttons here on top. These buttons, you can definitely use it at night. At night with gloves on, you'll be able to tell the difference between the buttons. It's not a problem. I know they're close together, but they are somewhat raised, and they've got some raised writing on it as well. So we've used these Thermion for years out in cold weather, and I hate cold weather, so I'm wearing gloves like in 60 degrees. And it does work. It is glove approved. I hate cold weather. Anyway, we have it mounted in the American Defense Manufacturing quick release. This is a return to zero mount with 2 locking throw levers on it. This is, you've seen this. We've used this mount quite often. As Jason mentioned, it does come with an extra. Well, I've got the APS-2 battery in it. It comes with the APS-3. It comes with a charging base. And Jason wanted me to show this. It's a wireless remote control. And I don't know if y'all remember, these used to come with the trails, right? Like way back in the day.
Way back, I think. Maybe the Apexes and the trails.
The trail. I remember the trails coming with it. But it does come with a wireless remote, which is kind of handy. If you are setting up on a tri-stand, maybe you're watching on your phone, be able to control the scope without putting your eye in the eyepiece and all that. So kind of cool.
I think you meant a tripod. You said a tri-stand, and I don't know what the tri-stand is.
You know what? You know what I was thinking?
A stand? You're thinking about being in a stand and a tripod.
Two different things. Yeah, I was thinking two different things. Setting up on a tripod and being in a deer stand. And we're crunched for time. We're crunched for time. I'm just trying to combine words, in terms. So we got to get through the show quickly.
Now I'm dragging it out. All right,
Everybody knows that my brain doesn't work, this way. So, I'm tired, man. I need caffeine.
I know.
All right. So that's a walk around. Yeah. So let's talk about, Jason. Like we said, who is it good for? Probably the most important part of this review. Let's get into that.
we're gonna go straight into that. We'll talk more about what we like and don't like and all those things. But I think this scope is good for a lot of people, and there's some folks it's not good for. I want to say this right up front. if you, this is something we probably should have said at the beginning as well. If you have any experience with the Pulsar Merger XL50, which was released earlier this year, that is, they're binoculars. We've reviewed them on here, and it's the exact same 1024x7 68. If you're familiar with that unit and you have any experience with it, the image quality you're going to get out of this scope is 100% identical. I've run them one on one eye, one on the other. They are the same. So if you have any familiar, I can't say the word. If you're familiar with that, then you're going to know exactly what to expect out of this. I think one thing I want to say up front is the image quality, and Hans might have said this before, the image quality that you're seeing on the videos does not do justice to what you see through the eyepiece. That was one thing that Hans, Ashley, myself, every one of us pulled our videos off and went, oh, it looked better when I was looking through it.
And I want to say it's the same with all of those, just about all other scopes on the market. What you see through the eyepiece is not what translates on converted and compressed and uploaded videos. Jason's, getting his videos and uploading them to a file, which is, I'm getting off the internet, I'm downloading, then I'm compressing it again. It's just changing hands too many times. What you see through the eyepiece definitely is quite a bit better than what you see through the videos online. For sure.
Sharper edges, more detail. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one thing I just want to say. I don't think the video is doing it justice. I think that if you're looking for a scope, and I'm going to say this and probably nobody else will, but maybe that's why y'all watch this show. If you're looking for a scope and you've had a really good 640, let's say you're hunting with one of the Pulsar Thermion, XPs or XGs, and you want to look through this thing and you want the image to shock you, like the first time that you saw color TV. If you want it to be like the heavens opened up, this is not it. Okay, it is better, 100%. All right, yeah, no, it is a better unit, but I think that this unit needs a trained eye. And you go, well, what kind of an excuse is that? Well, what that means is this unit the image is really, really good at close range, a lot of detail. And this unit is really, really good at long range. When you get out there in that 250, 300, 350, 400, it is amazing, the sharpness, the edges, how sharp those edges of the animals are, the identification range. Hans, that's something we totally skipped in the description, was the ID range. So we need to talk about that. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know how far it is because I haven't been able to get far enough away that I can't ID anything. So I'm going to straight up. Let's just skip right now. Let's go to this. I can't tell you the ID range because everything I've been able to see, I've been able to identify at 500 plus yards. It is unreal what you're getting in the identification range. So back to, and Hans, I'm rambling here. I'm gonna let you take over in just a second, but I think this scope is really good for a guy that, obvious, if you're a hog hunter, for sure, and nothing else needs to be said. This is the ultimate scope for you if you're a hog hunter. All right, but now let's talk about guys that are doing more than just hog hunting. I would say if you're taking a whole lot of shots that are 150 yards and in, then this is a fantastic scope for you. I think if you're needing very long range identification, I think this is a fantastic scope for you. Hans, what do you say?
Yeah, you're exactly right. There are, these days, every hog hunter is a coyote hunter, just about. I mean, they call up, you say, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I hog hunt and I coyote hunt. Well, if you are a hog hunter and coyote hunter, I can't think of a more perfect scope than this one right here. Average shot, 150 yards in, you're going to be able to benefit from the full 1024 thermal resolution. It's going to be, you're going to have a very wide field of view. You're going to be able to take, obviously, very close shots. You're going to be able to take long range shots on hogs. But for those coyote hunters, I mean, when you go from 1.75 base magnification at 1024 resolution, you bump it up once, so you go to 3.5 power. You're still at 512 resolution for all your, if
3.5 power, 512. You got two scopes in one.
You do. So if you want to go coyote hunting and you're trying to take 400 yard shots, you can do it. I think, there's a lot of guys also, if you flip that around, coyote hunters that say all the time, they call and say, I'm a coyote hunter, but I go down to Texas quite a bit and hog hunt. And what I've been telling them lately is, well, man, you just got to decide on a scope and base it off what you do most often, because you can't
Right.
get a scope really that's going to be able to be good with, with long range capabilities and a, massive wide field of view. This now, y'all, when you call it, this is your scope. If you want to coyote hunt and you like to hog hunt, or if you like to coyote hunt in big fields and in log sets and timbers, there's a lot of coyote hunters that do that too. They say, hey, I'm in big fields all the time, but man, we got some log sets and some trees and forests I like to hunt in too. Again, in the past, you're like, well, you got to decide, you want higher magnification and narrow field of view, or you want wider field of view and lower magnification. This now is a scope that you can do anything you want to with and still have, for 90% of your shooting, you can still have full 1024 thermal resolution, beautiful image, and have a massive wide field of view.
Yeah, and I think that Hans touched on this, and I was hoping this is where he was going. I was jotting notes over here. When you go to 3.5 power, you're at 512, and I think that is what you've got to get in your mind about this 1024, is that maybe not that the image is just, gosh, I don't want to say this. It's going to sound like I'm downing the image. I'm not. It's better than 640. Okay. But it's not this, I've never seen anything like it image, but when you zoom, it is. That's when you're like, oh, wow. So I just had better than 640, and now I zoomed, and 512 isn't 640, but it's darn close, and it looks really, really good. And so you're getting that ability to, like Hans said, have two scopes in one. And I think that's where it shines. I know that when we got these units and started using them in the field, I wasn't really surprised because we'd already used the Merger XL50s a whole bunch, but the guys from Pulsar USA were calling like, okay, what do y'all really think? And we said kind of what we said there. It's amazing up close, and it's amazing at long range. And I think that's where you see the real benefit in this, is getting out there at that distance and being able to identify just crazy distances, because that's where that resolution is really paying off, in my opinion.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, just to recap all that again, I mean, if your average shot 150 yards and in, and you want the capability to do long range shooting, coyote hunting, target practice, whatever you want to do, this will do. It will do that too. It'll definitely do long range shooting. But at 150 yards and in, you're going to have a beautiful image. You're going to have wide field of view. And so this does, I mean, we can get into the likes and dislikes, and I know we're going to jump into that too, but to get that with 1024 resolution and all the shooting capabilities that you can do at different ranges, you're getting all that with a laser rangefinder for under $8,000. I don't think anybody thought that we were that close, to under $10,000 full featured 1024 HD thermal scope. That's surprising.
So I want to say two things. One, you're hearing this, and I know there's guys going, I'm still confused. I don't know if this is right for me or not. Call us. Okay, just call us, and we'll be glad to. We need to hear more about your specific situation, because we view these units, all of these scopes, as tools, and you need the right tool for the job. And we can hear more about your job, more about how you're hunting and your setups and all that, and we can help you figure out if this is it or not. But I want to talk about the likes and dislikes, because Hans is talking about price, and that's something that's really on one of my likes. So I'm going to get the dislikes out of the way, because I always get rid of that and then go over here to the likes. So I'm going to do this quick, Hans, unless you've thought of something else. I'm going to handle these dislikes because we didn't have much.
No, go ahead.
Obviously, we know what people are going to say. I don't even know this is necessarily our dislike, because it doesn't really affect us. But I know some guys are going to say, wait a minute, these other Thermions are getting, 8-9 hours, and this one only gets 6. That's true. And so I wish that it got better battery life, but that's because it's running a 1024 sensor, and obviously that's a battery hog. But Pulsar threw you in another battery for free. They get you 2 more hours of runtime. So kind of a moot point. But, yes, we would all love to see this thing get, 48 hours of runtime, but it doesn't. So, all right, that was one of our dislikes. The other thing, I'm going to spin this into a positive as well, but there has been this ballistic calculator app that is available for all the Pulsar laser rangefinders. This excites a whole lot of people. And there's a lot of long range shooters out there. There's a lot of guys who want to be long range shooters. You want to get into it. They want to do this with thermal. Hans and I and Ashley, we have a lot of reservations about shooting long range at night, period. Okay. We just have tons of safety concerns and identification concerns, but we're going to put all that aside for a minute and have to go along with this because this is definitely the direction that a lot of these optics are going is the ballistic calculations. And so a lot of people want that ability. And so the negative is that I think a lot of guys, especially that are new to long range shooting or don't know anything about it, like Hans and Ashley and myself, is you get this app and you get all this and you start playing with it. And buddy, it's above our pay grade. So it's a little bit complicated if you're not familiar with that world. Now, the guys that are long range shooters and they know all about this, we don't ever hear from them. Right. Okay. They just get it. They plug it all in. They're good to go. And that's that. So our opinion has kind of been, if you don't understand it, probably don't need to be shooting that far at night like us. We don't need to be shooting that far. But if you do understand it, then this is a fantastic pro for you. So I think it's a little bit, we put it over here on our dislikes of like, that's pretty complicated for a lot of guys. But again, move it over to the likes because a lot of people are really pumped about all these features and having these ballistic calculations that they can upload the profiles to the scope. So now, I'm moving into my likes, and I'm gonna give one big like over here. This is where I stole the show here for a minute to take it away from Hans. I want to talk about this price a minute. So think about this. You've got the Thermion 2 I almost said XG, XP50 Pro. That's a 2-power laser rangefinder, and it's $59.99. We're going to round up $6,000. The XG50 LRF 3-power 640 is $6,000 as well. This is a 1024 thermal resolution unit, and it's $2,000 more, $8,000, $79.99. Guys, we expected this to cost more, and we didn't think it was going to have a laser rangefinder. So I'm not just throwing out $2,000 like that's no money, but I know there's a whole lot of guys that were already looking at an XP50 LRF for for $6,000. They're going to say $2,000 more. Man, give me a couple months. I'm gonna save up my piggy bank a little more, and I'm going to 1024. So I do think that price is close enough that some people go, man, 2,000, I ain't gonna spend that, And then other guys are like, oh wow, if that's the only jump I got to make, and they're gonna go right on in to 1024 resolution. That's a huge is the price. It's not what we expected.
You're exactly right. That's got to be the my biggest like, other than the picture quality, obviously, and the fact that this optic is what I would consider good for really any type of hunting, whether it be short range or longer range. But I feel like there's about to be a lot of used 640 scopes go on the market. Do you get that feeling like there's going to be everybody's going to be, unloading their scopes to get something?
I do.
To get the XL50. So, I guess, that's the joy and the benefit from all this, but also at the same time, the concern, a lot of people, they're like, man, I just got this scope and now there's something coming out and brand new. And we say that there's always going to be something brand new, but this is a major advancement. 1024 resolution is the first time in a thermal rifle scope form for Pulsar. They're excited about it. Like we talked about, it came in quicker than we thought. It came in less expensive than we thought. But along with the likes that Jason mentioned, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one quick thing. So, and I don't want to not mention it and people think that we're either intentionally avoiding it or whatever. There is obviously, this is the second scope above 640. to hit the market. I mean, there is a 1280 thermal rifle scope out there. We've discussed it on this show about a year ago, I think. And so we don't want to act like that doesn't exist. But
Well, there was another
and that
company,
was amazing.
There was another company that announced the 1280 as well. I don't know if it's
that's
come to
right.
market yet, but
I don't think it has. So my point is, we're not acting like this is the first time it's ever been done.
No.
But it's the first time that this has been done at this price point. The 1280 scope, which is fantastic and amazing, and everybody agrees on that, cost twice as much as this scope. Twice as much. So that's why we're so pumped and excited about this, is because, again, look at the price. So anyway, I don't want people to think that we're acting like this is the first ever. It's the first ever it's the second ever to hit the market, and it's the first ever in anywhere near this kind of price range.
You're exactly right. And think about it. If let's say you're watching this and you're like, well, I don't need to watch this. This is an $8,000 scope. I'm trying to save up just to get gas to go to the deer stand to go hunting. Y'all, this affects, and this will be a ripple effect throughout the market moving forward 100%. On any resolution scope that you're looking at.
100%.
And you can already see the effect of that just in the last few months. This is a win for everybody at every budget level from here on out. So this is definitely a good thing. This kind of sets a precedent, I think, moving forward as far as what HD resolution prices and features are going for. So I think that you're going to see a huge competition at this level, at this resolution, and maybe beyond this resolution. But I think Pulsar came in and said, you know what? We're one of the leaders in this industry. We're going to set the standard, and we're going to set the price. And and they've done it. I mean, like I said, they could have brought this out at $12,000 and saw, oh, you know what? Well, let's lower the price in a year or so just to see if it gets more sales. They came in. I think if they came in at their
aggressive,
very very aggressive. So rounding out the lights, I love the form factor of the Thermion. I do shoot bolt action. I shoot AR style rifles. I like it both. This is the tube style scopes, which Pulsar went to many years ago. It to me is just very comfortable and natural. It does come with a rubber eye cup. We run them without the eye cup on it on this style scope. But obviously, the fact that it does come with the extra battery, we mentioned the battery life being a small negative before this, but you're getting the extra battery. You can also purchase additional batteries. If you feel like you need more, you're going to be out for a couple of days and not going to be near a plug. You can always pick up more batteries for it. But just love the fact that we're getting above 640 resolution, and we're not stripping these scopes down. I mean, they're keeping all the features. They're putting in the laser rangefinder. But yeah, I think you summed it up, man. It's aggressive. This is what this is. It's an aggressive move.
It is, and I think Hans is right. I think it puts a lot of pressure on the market. I think we all know, I don't think it's any secret, that every manufacturer has to be looking at 1024 or 1280 or beyond, whatever that is, because it's just that's where the technology is going. And even before the first 1280 ever came out, everybody knew it's a ticking time bomb. It's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna bring out something higher than 640. And so now that we've got, Pulsar with the second scope out, and again, I think you said somebody else has announced one that didn't come to market yet that I know of. There's going to be more. I mean, I don't, and I say that, guys, that's not inside information. I really don't know that, but I do think that we're going to see that over time. And so this is a huge step. But Hans made a great point. Pulsar set the price. This is the price. So if you're going to be 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever, you got to have something way better. And it doesn't mean, now let's be clear, it doesn't mean somebody comes out, they may be more than $8,000. They may have something better. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see that. But I think the other point he made that is so big, and we can't stress enough, is don't get the class warfare envy game of, well, that's just for the rich guys, all us poor guys. What about us? Nobody cares about us. Bull. Look at the price of the scopes you can get now
Yeah, I know.
for $2,500. I mean,
And
we've
good
got
quality
scopes,
scopes. I
and
mean,
that's what I'm talking
good
about.
quality
Good
stuff.
Pulsar has got, and the Talion
I know. Great scope.
XQ35 Pro, fantastic image, $2,500. Okay, we've got other brands that have now moved down to below or right at $2,000 or below. Guys, the reason that's all happening is because of this upward pressure. It's pressing down, pressing down.
Yep.
That there is more 640s below $5,000 than there is ever been. Now below 4,000, the prices are pressing down, and so it's definitely a great time to be in the thermal game. Meaning not meaning just a seller, meaning if you're out
Buyer,
here
yeah.
actively buying, shopping, hunting with it, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on.
So I want to bring up one thing before you about get started wrapping this thing, and I guess I'm wrapping this thing. We need to talk about one thing, and that's anytime there is an advancement in technology and thermal scopes, and a brand puts something out, and you mentioned another company putting out a 1280 scope. You've got other companies working on 1280. You've got other companies working on different things. There's always a rush for a certain crowd of people to go to the internet and hate on it, whatever it is. And I think that this needs to be addressed, because I think I'll just say this, 99.9% of the people that rush to the internet and hate on this scope or another scope or a scope that was already put out that was a very expensive price, 99% of those guys are not in the market to buy that scope at all. They're not going to buy it. They don't.
They've never seen it either. They've
never seen it, and they were never going to buy it. If you are legitimately in the market for a scope and 1024 resolution or higher beyond 640 resolution is attractive to you, talk to people that have used it. Talk to people that have known. Talk to people that have used the other scopes out there that are higher than 640 resolution. Don't believe all the things that you read on the internet, because there's a big rush of people to go hate on anything, and I don't understand it. Facebook is a big source of it. I try to stay away from it. I'll let Jason handle the Facebook stuff because it just infuriates me. But give us a call, talk to us, because we're gonna give you an honest answer. I think Jason, we've been doing this long enough. We've gotten enough credibility to know that I don't want to say, I hate to say it like this, we don't care what scope you buy, we just hope you buy it from us. But that's to say right. Is we're going to put you in the direction of what's best for you. Well, it doesn't matter the price. You don't care.
If that's a $2,500 scope, go for it. We spend the same amount of time on the phone with that guy as we do the guy that's got a $10,000.
It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you've got to get this optic, and it's going to be, we don't want you to buy an optic that's not in your budget, that's going to saddle you and get you in trouble. We don't want to do that. We want you to get something that you honestly are going to get the most benefit out of, and that's going to be affordable and in your price budget. The last thing we want is for you to get something and turn around and think, well, this isn't the right choice or whatever. But just avoid a lot of or it's hard to avoid the hate, but take it with a grain of salt and talk to people that really know. And if you are interested in purchasing the scope, call us 877-350-1818, outdoorlegacygear.com. Unless you have anything else, Jason, I'll run right into the
No, I think we're good. I think that's it.
Okay, so if you're looking to find out more information about the XL50, man, we got a lot. Like I said, Jason is out of retirement. We don't know how long this is going to last, but his first video in 3 years. And y'all, let me tell you, he complained every step of the way about this video. Complained about the camera.
Just go on.
Audio.
Nobody wants to hear you moan and groan.
So you can check out his video. It is actually a very well done video. He's very good at it. So I wish he would do more. But Outdoor Legacy on YouTube, go check that out. There will be more stuff coming there. You'll see stuff from me and Ashley on that channel as well. Also on Facebook, Instagram, Outdoor Legacy, you can find Ashley Rowe, who's also pumping out a lot of videos on YouTube right now at Rowe ETX, ROWE-ETX. He's also on Facebook and on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube, Hans ETX, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. We're hanging out when we're supposed to be working sometimes, chatting it up in some of these forums and trying to keep the peace. But yeah, Jason.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Really do. We're very excited about this optic. We're excited to see what else comes in the market and what else Pulsar has got up their sleeve for us down the road and into 2024. Exciting times. And guys, always stay tuned to the Late Night Vision Show because we're going to bring you the latest and the breaking news in this industry. And so between now and next week, y'all stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.